Most people in your city are working 50-hour weeks to afford stuff that sucks their bank accounts dry. And nobody talks about it, because it looks exactly like success. Think about someone you know. A colleague, a neighbor, maybe a version of yourself not too long ago. Nice car in the driveway. Latest phone. Dinner at the right places. Vacations posted every other week. From the outside, everything looks like it's working. But behind all of that, credit card debt, zero savings, a bank account that resets to near empty every single month. That person isn't building wealth. They're financing a performance of wealth. And the scariest part isn't that they're doing it. The scariest part is that they genuinely believe they're on the right track. And the worst part? The whole system is built to keep them right there. If you're new here, I'm Henry, and this channel, Henry Wealth Blueprint, exists for one reason, to show you the mental shifts that actually separate people who look wealthy from people who become wealthy. If that's what you're after, subscribe right now. What I'm about to say took me years to figure out, and I genuinely wish someone had just sat me down and said it earlier. A few years ago, my income went up significantly. More than I'd ever made before. I thought I'd cracked it. Upgraded my apartment. Got a better car. Started eating at restaurants I used to scroll past and daydream about. For about 6 months, I believed my own story completely. Then one evening I actually sat down and looked at my real numbers. Net worth. Savings rate. Invested assets. What I found made me feel like a complete idiot. I was earning more than ever, and I was further from financial freedom than I'd been 2 years earlier. Because every dollar that came in, I had quietly assigned it to looking the part. Not building. Not owning. Just performing. That night I understood something no finance book had ever made click for me. There are two completely different games being played, and most people don't even know which one they're in. There's the game where you look rich, and there's the game where you actually own your life. Most people are stuck in the first one, and the brutal thing is, the first game is designed to feel like progress while it quietly drains everything you have. The looking rich game is the one society coaches you to play from the time you're old enough to want things. Buy the car. Wear the brand. Live in the right zip code. The rules are simple. Spend money to signal status. And here's what makes it genuinely dangerous. It feels like progress. You buy the thing, you feel good for a day, and then you're back to zero. But the lifestyle stays. The monthly payments stay. The expectation you've set for yourself stays. And it costs more every single month just to maintain the image you've already built. The ownership game is completely different. Assets. Equity. Skills that compound over time. Things that produce value while you sleep, while you eat, while you're on that vacation. The scoreboard in this game? It's invisible. You won't see it at dinner parties or on Instagram. Most people won't even know you're winning. And that invisibility is exactly what makes it so hard for most people to stay committed to it. Here's something that should genuinely bother you. The guys flexing the hardest, loudest cars, freshest fits, always somewhere exotic on their stories. Those are statistically the ones with the emptiest bank accounts. Study after study in behavioral finance confirms it. And the people with real, durable financial stability? They're almost pathologically quiet about money. Not because they're hiding anything. Because to them, money is a building tool, not a costume. They stopped needing the validation a long time ago. Think about what happens every time your income goes up. Most people treat a raise like permission to spend more. Bigger salary, bigger car payment. Promotion, bigger apartment. Ask yourself honestly, who are you actually trying to impress here? Your neighbor? Your high school ex? Someone you went to college with who you haven't spoken to in 4 years? It's exhausting when you name it out loud. And the math runs in the exact wrong direction. Every dollar redirected toward appearance is a dollar that isn't compounding for you in the background. Every month you delay the ownership game, you're not just losing money, you're losing time. And time, unlike money, you genuinely cannot get back. I know, everyone talks about compounding. But stay with me. This isn't about the math. It's about the time you're giving away. Compounding isn't linear. It's exponential. Which means the cost of the looking rich game in your 30s isn't just the money you spend. It's the decade of growth that never happened. It's the version of yourself at 55 who has to keep working because the money that should have been working for you was spent on things that lost value the moment you bought them. There was a man named Theodore Johnson, UPS driver his whole career. Never made a flashy salary by any standard. Simple car. Simple home. Nobody in his neighborhood would have guessed anything about his financial life. No one was impressed by him at a dinner party. No one double-tapped his lifestyle on social media. But throughout his working years, he consistently invested a portion of every paycheck into company stock and never touched it. He left behind $70 million. 70 million. And nobody saw it coming, because nobody was watching him. He wasn't performing anything. Theodore's story isn't a fluke. This happens all the time. The inverse is just as consistent. High earners, luxury lifestyles, reaching their 50s with almost nothing saved. One bad month away from a real problem. Looking rich bought them decades of social approval. It did not buy them freedom. It never does. So what actually separates these two paths? Because it's deeper than discipline. Deeper than budgets and spreadsheets. It's a fundamentally different relationship with money at the psychological level. People who are genuinely building wealth have, at some point, made peace with being invisible. They don't need their progress to be legible to anyone else. They've decoupled their self-worth from their spending. And I won't pretend that's easy, because we are wired for status. Status signaling isn't a character flaw, it's ancient. It's survival biology applied to modern consumer culture. But the people who build real wealth learn to redirect that instinct inward. Their identity gets attached to their net worth trajectory, their freedom metrics, their actual ownership, things no one else can see. But they feel every single day when they wake up and know they're not one paycheck away from panic. There's also something I keep coming back to. The delay of proof. When you look rich, the proof is immediate. People see the car. They react. The validation loop is fast, and it feels real. When you're building wealth, the proof is slow. You invest this month and nothing visible happens for years. This is exactly why most people quit the ownership game early. The feedback isn't satisfying in the short term. And consumer culture profits from your impatience. So it works overtime to make sure you stay impatient, stay hungry for the next purchase, the next upgrade, the next thing that makes you feel like you've arrived. I lived in the looking rich game longer than I'd like to admit. Getting out of it wasn't one clean decision. It was a slow, uncomfortable renegotiation of what I actually wanted, not in photos, but in my real life. The biggest shift was changing the question I asked myself before spending money. Not, can I afford this? Because that question is almost always manipulatable. If you want something badly enough, you'll find a way to tell yourself you can afford it. The better question is simply this: does this move me closer to freedom, or further from it? That one question, consistently asked, has probably redirected more of my money than any budget I've ever tried to keep. It's not a finance trick. It's a clarity tool. Because at the end of the day, this isn't really about money. It's about what you want your life to actually look like when the performance stops. When the Instagram is closed and the dinner party is over and it's just you and your real numbers. That's the moment that tells you which game you've been playing. You can look rich, or you can be rich. You usually can't do both. Pick one. If this makes sense to you, stick around. Subscribe to Henry Wealth Blueprint. Every video on this channel is built around one thing: giving you the frameworks to make decisions that your future self will actually thank you for. I'll see you in the next one. Let's get to work.